Pour a glass of wine. I'm reminded at the same time. It's midnight over here. Over there it's only nine. Let us reminisce. Not the time you took that flight. Still remember our first kiss. Lately it's been on my mind. It's been a long time, but I still got love for you. And that won't ever change. San Jose. They say it never rains in Southern California, but it's pouring in the Bay. San Jose, girl, I know you tried to tell us of those lies, like we can really work, but this was a curse to do, so we go our separate ways. Maybe speak on holiday, now you got a son. I guess you'll always be the one that got away. It's been a long time, but I still got love for you, and that won't never change. San Jose, they say it never rains in Southern California, but it's pouring in the Bay. San Jose, oh, oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Listen, I know things change. I know you change, but I never see your face again, baby. Oh, oh, yeah. Long time, but I still got love for you. And that won't never change. San Jose. They say it never rains in Southern California, but it's pouring in the Bay. San Jose. Pour a glass of wine. I'm reminded at the same time. It's midnight over here. Over there it's only nine. Let us reminisce. Not the time you took that flight. Still remember our first kiss. Lately it's been on my mind. It's been a long time, but I still got love for you, and that won't ever change. San Jose, they say it never rains in Southern California, but it's pouring in the Bay. San Jose, girl, I know you tried to tell us of those lies, like we can make it work. The distance was a curse to do, so we go our separate ways. Maybe speak babe. Now you got a son. I guess you'll always be the one that got away. It's been a long time, but I still got love for you. And that won't never change. San Jose. They say it never rains in Southern California, but it's pouring in the Bay. San Jose. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Listen, I know things change. I know they change, but I really need to see your face again, baby. Oh, long time, but I still got love for you. And that won't never change. San Jose. They say it never rains in Southern California, but it's pouring in the Bay. San Jose.
Hi, I'm Nicole Hockley from Sandy Hook Promise. I know this is hard to hear, but it's important.
Woke to a voice calling me. Swear I felt a presence. Said her name was Destiny. She spoke to me with such reverence. Oh, nothing is what it seems. Oh, nothing is what it seems. My words like God. Nothing is what it seems. My words like clouds and daydreams. Daydreams. Nothing is what it seems. It's been a long time. Ooh, alright. Oh, baby. I think this is the one I wanted to listen to. Tell me lies, feed my pride and my starving ego too. We say we do, but most of the time we don't really want the truth. So take me higher, fuel my fire, I'll be your liar too. Cause when we're here, there's nothing better than this skyline view. I love this skyline view. I love this skyline view. Fill my cup half full with trust, quench my thirst for love. My appetite for you is strong, I can never get enough. So fuel my fire, take me higher, I'll be your liar too. 'Cause when we're here, there's nothing better than the skyline view. I love this 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 skyline view. Okay, so I am supposed to start in about 8 minutes, but I am going to start a little bit early because I do have some breaking news and just going to go over this real quick here. And I am waiting on our guest to join us. She knows that we're starting at 3. So in about a couple minutes. I'm also going to be sending my co-host sent a link. Okay, but I wanted to give y'all this breaking news, and it says the husband of the teacher who was unalived in the Texas school shooting has passed away from a heart attack. Okay, so this is the husband of one of the teachers, and he's passed away of a heart attack. Okay, and I just want to let y'all know it is possible that you can die of a broken heart. Basically, what goes on when you have so much stress is you go into cardiac arrest. So that's basically how you die of a broken heart. But I want to send my condolences out to that family, to that teacher, and to that husband. I want to send my condolences out to both of them. It says the husband of an elementary school teacher who was unalived in a mass shooting in Uvalde, Texas, or Uvalde, rather. I pronounced it all the way wrong. Uvalde, Texas, has died of a heart attack. The family members tell Fox 26 Joe Garcia, the husband of Irma Garcia, died on Thursday, just 2 days after his wife was tragically unalived when a gunman entered Robb Elementary School in Uvalde and opened fire. Okay, so y'all, I really like Ruby. Shout out to Ruby. Ruby might be already here or she might be on her way. Ruby and Miss Callie are like my loyal watchers. So I always try to get them shout outs. But Ruby asked me if I was gonna cover that shooting, and obviously I really can't cover it. I didn't cover the one in Buffalo, New York either, and it's just too tragic. Some of this stuff when it happens, it just weighs on my spirit. And when the kids, when it happened to these children, no matter their racial background, because obviously you guys know that this is Black Women Aware, but because they're children. And when it happened, like I went to sleep last night, y'all, and I was in tears. I couldn't get the tears to stop falling. So that case is very sensitive for me, especially when they got to describe what the children were doing in their last moments, what that teacher was doing in her last moments. Like it was one little girl who had just received a reward for honor roll, and they have her last picture. It was another little girl who had attempted to call 911. Okay, she attempted to call 911, and
um obviously wasn't successful because that demon went in there and took her life senselessly. So, and just seeing the families, seeing these families, and they have footage of the families like going up to the school and searching for their children. They have children of the mothers and fathers, talking about how they were asking different people like, where's the funeral home, and stuff, so they could identify the remains of their loved ones. And that, y'all, I was up crying all night. Okay, I couldn't take it. Okay, it just broke me. It really did. I don't like when children are harmed at all. Children are my weak spot, and I couldn't even work with children when I was in the medical field. I seen one drug baby die, my first and last drug baby. Seen him die. He was a preemie baby, and again, it doesn't, patients or people do not have to be the same racial background as myself for me to have empathy. Okay, this baby was a baby of no color. I didn't care, that didn't have anything to do with it. But he was my first druggy baby, and I was called up there simply just to soothe him, okay, just to soothe him while the NICU nurses could do so they could do their jobs and focus on what they had to focus on. But this baby ended up passing away, y'all. He didn't make it. And I remember leaving the unit that day because I couldn't take it. Like, after, they was getting them cleaned up and getting them ready to go downstairs to the morgue. And even in the morgue, they have these little morgues for children, these little freezers for children, and children's corpses and things like that. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to handle that. So I remember, like, abandoning posts, and I was walking out the unit, and I was a float medical person at that time. I was a float nurse at that time. So I was leaving, and the housing supervisor caught me, and I was crying, and I was just, just really bawling like it was my own baby. And she grabbed my shoulders and she turned me around to face her, and I still can feel her hands like digging into my skin. That's how much of a hold she had on me. And shout out to the nurses and everybody in the medical field, because you do have to have tough skin working in the medical field, because us medical people see a lot of crazy shit. Okay, we see a lot of crazy shit. But she gripped my shoulders, and she looked me dead in the eyes. This is when I was real new to working in the hospital and all. And she said, people die, get over it. And at that time when she said it, I thought it was heartless. But as I began to think about it more and more in the field that we work in, I realized that in this field, in the medical field, we are going to see people pass away. We're going to experience children passing away. Okay. And we have to grow a tough skin, because if we are, as medical people, if we are emotionally attached to our patients or clients or residents or whatever kind of facility you work in, because different facilities, they call people different names. They can be called patients, clients, residents, what have you, right? So if you grow that emotional bond to this patient, it's possibly key things in their care that you can miss because you're emotionally attached. Like, I don't know what state y'all in, but the state that I was in working in that hospital, we could not like work with family members. So for example, God forbid, if my father or mother has some serious condition, and they just so happened to be put on my side of the floor or whatever side of the unit that I'm covering, I would have to switch them off to somebody else. Because not only does it violate HIPAA, but it's a conflict of interest, because how good of care am I going to give my mother if I have to be assisting in her surgery? Now, obviously, if I'm on the floor and I'm taking care of her on the floor, I'm going to make sure my mom is taken care of, but I'm not going to always be able to give my best care. Okay, if it's somebody close to me, like say that person came in and they had a traumatic thing happen to them, they were in a car accident, they had something serious happen, and then it gets messy. Okay, so yeah, my love and my condolences and prayers and well wishes go out to everybody in Uvalde, Texas. Okay, but those kind of situations, they shake me up. And this message again was specifically I made it for Ruby, because Ruby asked me about it, and Ruby was wondering like, hey Candace, like, you didn't cover Buffalo, New York, and you're not covering Uvalde. That's why. Because those cases with elderly, innocent people and with children, they're very sensitive. I can't cover those. Not right now. I'm working on it. But anywho, without further ado, okay, this case that I'm covering today is concerning Miss Asia Maynard, okay? And it y'all, it is like it's deep. And not only is it's just so many twists and turns. And I do have a family member, a sister of Asia's, who agreed to come up and speak with me. How you doing, Ruby? She agreed to come up and speak with me. At this time, I'm going to add her on. Please remember, when I add Asia's sister on here, because it's Black Women Aware, you are not allowed to disrespect my guests or the victims, okay? You can possibly disagree with something they say. In that case, please ask questions, but do not disrespect my guests or their loved ones or the victims, okay? How you doing, Miss Tiara?
Hello, how you doing?
I'm fine. So first I want to say thank you for agreeing to come on my platform and speak with me about your sister. Um, I'm surprised that this was just 2 months ago. This case happened just 2 months ago. So it hasn't been that long at all.
No, ma'am.
And before I even get into it, I'm going to allow you, let me close out these slides. I'm going to allow you to speak to us about your sister and tell us about the case. And then I'm going to ask some questions and we'll go from there. So I'm going to mute myself so you can tell us about the case. Okay.
Okay.
And also, audience, Tierra did give me a link to a GoFundMe. Okay, I am going to be linking that GoFundMe into the comment section and into the description box of this video. So please have it in your hearts to give to this family. This isn't just about because I know sometimes when we get GoFundMe's, and I have to be specific with this case because usually on Black Women Aware, when we see the GoFundMe's, it's for like funeral and burial. No, we need help getting private investigators and people to dig further into this case. Okay, y'all. So please find it in your heart. If you can give. Okay. Okay, Tiara, I'm gonna go on mute.
Hello, everyone. Well, February 18th, I believe, is when younger guy, and before she went on the date, she had called me, and she was letting me know that she was going on a date, and when she went on this date, she was gonna call me when she got back home, and she never called me. So, the next day, her daughter was calling me and was like, "Hey, she hadn't talked to her mom," and I told her, told her daughter, just give her a few hours. Maybe she's gonna call you. She never called. So the next day after that, Sunday, I filed a missing persons report, and come to find out, they said that she was deceased, with a friend, and then the friend said that morning he checked to see if she was alive, and she was stiff. Her body was stiff, and he started performing CPR on her, and he had called the police, and then waited for the police to get there. So moments after that, the police came to my house after I did the missing persons report. Police had came to my house to file it. They didn't want to at first because they said, typically you have to give adults, that time frame, 72 hours, but it had been past the 72 hours. So he said that he's going to file it today.
Tiara, we can't hear you, honey. I think you went on mute. Hold on. It says your mic isn't connected, Tiara. Hold on, let me see if I can hold on, y'all. So I don't think she can hear me. Hold on, I'm trying to get a hold of her. Tierra. Yeah, she can't hear me. I'm gonna try to send her a message another way. Okay. Let me try to send her a message another way. Okay, Tierra.
Can you hear me now? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I think you went out right after, like you were saying, the police said you said you had to wait 72 hours for to put in a missing persons report. That's what the
Oh,
police were telling you.
yeah, they was telling me that we had to typically wait 72 hours to do the missing person report, but it had already been that. So once I let them know that it had already been 72 hours, they went ahead and filed it. They asked me what she had on, and I gave a description of what she had on.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that he's gonna look in his database to make sure she's not in no jail or nothing like that. And they wanted me to call the hospitals, and I called the hospitals to make sure she wasn't in a hospital. And once they did all that, more police. He called more police to the scene,
Mm-hmm.
and they was all talking. I don't know what was said because I was like standing on my porch, so I wasn't. I'm not for sure what they was talking about, but they all came up to me and they told me they asked me my name, and I gave them my name.
Mm-hmm.
They asked me what was my birthday. I gave them my birthday and stuff. And he told me to have a seat, and I sat down. They was like, "Well, Miss Maynard, we found your sister deceased over a friend house." He said that when he tried to wake her up, she was stiff, and he
Mm-hmm.
performed CPR on her until they got there. Now, I asked the police, what how she passed, what she died from. He was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Well, we're gonna rule it as natural causes because we didn't see no foul play." And I was like, "So there was no drugs, no alcohol, no nothing on the scene?" He was like, "Nope, she died from natural causes." And here's the coroner's number so you can get in contact with them, and they let you know what to do after that. So we called them, and they was like, well, I was like, do we need to go down there to identify the body?
Mm-hmm.
And they was like, no, we don't need you to come down here to do that. You can't do that. You have to call the funeral home, and then you guys can view the body like that.
Mm.
So we called the funeral home, and I believe it was like that Monday or Tuesday. It was Tuesday, I believe. We was able to see her, and like I said, we haven't heard anything from Detective Riley or anything. We haven't heard nothing from nobody. Nobody haven't reached out to us. Every time we try to reach out to them, they giving us a runaround
They running
or
you around. Mm-hmm.
right, and they don't really
So
want to speak much about the case.
I have so many questions, and some of these questions I'm gonna just prep you for them. They're gonna be hard, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because I like, for example, like this is just an example of a hard question. They're not gonna be disrespectful, but they're gonna be hard, okay? Because it's so much mystery around this case, and like for example, I read up on the case and I studied the case, and Isaiah Crown is the guy that she went out on a date with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for the audience, Isaiah Crown is a man of no color, and the only reason why I'm mentioning that he's a man of no color is because, as we've seen in prior cases, when it comes to black people, these people have certain privileges that we don't have. Let's just be real, okay? But the one thing that I began to question when they said that he found her lying there and he turned her over and he started to do CPR, I'm wondering how long was she lying there and where was she lying? Did they tell you that?
No, they didn't tell us that, but I know the last time she was known alive was like around 1 because she had texted her daughter that she loved her, and that was like around 1 o'clock in the morning.
And
So
you know that from a text message, right?
exactly, yep.
And so basically where I'm getting to Tierra is, you know, they can pinpoint a time of death through autopsies, right?
Right.
Through a because you know, and I'm gonna give you all a little bit of science. It's a process called and I know you all have heard of this process, but a lot of people don't understand the different stages of this. It's a process called rigor mortis. Okay. And basically what rigor mortis is basically just to give you all a generalized statement, is basically, in Tierra, this is no disrespect to you because I know this is hard to hear because it's your sister, but it's basically when the body is preparing for decomposition. Okay. And the reason why I brought that up is because when if was Isaiah the one, just let me clear this up before I go any further. Was Isaiah the one who told the police or told 911 that he found her and he started to do CPR on her?
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't want to sound like I'm putting words in his mouth, and I ain't trying to protect him either, but I want to make sure I got my everything straight. I'm crossing my T's and dotting my I's. So basically, when I read that, I was wondering, um, how did she feel when he found her? Like, because if they were lying in the bed together, and I'm not saying they were ever, had any intimacy with each other, but when you think about
Mm-hmm.
rigor mortis, the first thing that like within the first 12 hours, the body temperature starts to drop. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking,
Mm-hmm.
because I was angry when I read up on this case. So I'm like, okay, he found her laying there. One, where was she lying? You know, because
Right.
if she was lying next to you, whether you were on a sofa or something, the first thing you're gonna notice is that temperature dropping. You're gonna notice something with her temperature. You know what I mean? Then not
Mm-hmm.
only that, but you're going to like with I can't talk, I'm so angry. With rigor mortis, the body, after depending on the climate, the body starts to stiffen. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering, I'm like, how long was she lying there
And,
before he actually did something? You see where I'm getting to?
mm-hmm.
And then not only that, but where was she lying? You know what I mean? So I'm wondering,
Right.
at the time that they found her remains, did anybody go in that house and investigate, take pictures? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Does it seem like it's and then also what I'm wondering, I know I'm throwing stuff at you. I don't mean anything, but I have to get it all out, and then we'll go over it one by one again because I wrote it down, right? But I'm also wondering, who is his family and what kind of connections do they have? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yep.
Some of these families, some of these people of color, yeah, people of color have privilege, but it's not like when it comes to stuff like this, they got ties to politicians and stuff like that. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And I, excuse me, Tierra, if I cuss because I'm just that mad. A lot of my audience knows that when I get passionate about these cases, I tend to cuss. But I feel
Mm-hmm.
like, and I studied this case, and I'm gonna be real with you. I studied this case. The first time I seen this case, I studied this case for an hour, and I was immediately seeing a lot of stuff that I didn't agree with. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not a detective, but at the same time, like for example, if he told the police he found her corpse, the first thing, if I'm a detective, I'm gonna try to see where he found her corpse. What was the position
Exactly.
of her corpse? How did her corpse feel? You know what I mean? How did it feel?
Mm-hmm.
Was she cold to the touch? Was her color, because even though we're people of color, our color can still change when there's something wrong with us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It can still change. Then not only that, was anything coming out of her mouth or nose? Because it's been rumored allegedly that he has been involved with 7 other people who have had overdoses.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I'm angry because I feel like they dropped the ball on this. And then I've never heard of anybody saying identify the body later. You can't see her right now. I've
Right. That's
never
what
heard that.
that's what
You
I
know?
was saying. Yep. And then I feel like too, like in most cases, I feel like they would have notified the family once she was passed away,
Mhm.
but they didn't do that. And I asked the detective, like, why weren't we notified? And he was like, well, I couldn't get in her phone, right? Mind you, this is what he's telling me. I couldn't get in her phone, and we didn't have no way of getting in contact with the family. But once I got my sister's phone back, because he said her phone was locked. This is what he's telling me. When I got my sister's phone back, her phone was not locked. You can go to messages, all that. I seen the last picture she took. I seen the messages. I seen all that. So that was a lot, and I'm trying to figure out what was his point of lying about him contacting us.
He has something to cover up. That's the only reason
Right.
why anybody lies. He has
Right.
something to cover up. But also, because again, I said the piece about the finding of the corpse. Like, I wonder, like, why didn't they reach deep? Like, did anybody take him down to the station for questioning?
Nope.
Nothing. So
Nothing.
to the audience, I hope y'all are hearing this, because on this channel here, I often stress, like, the reason why I started Black Women Aware was because our cases get pushed under the rug. Okay. And I noticed, like, the one of the big cases that got me to start this channel was the Chicago Strangler. It was Black women left and right coming up missing in Chicago, and nobody was batting an eye. Okay, nobody
Wow.
cared. So yeah, so I started this channel off the strength of that case and off the strength of my own testimony, but I don't want to jump into it all right now because I want to stay focused on this case. But again, like I looked up some definitions for you guys, because I know oftentimes when we say things like natural causes, again, Asia's family was told that she passed away of natural causes. Okay, and I looked up the exact definition of what natural causes is. Okay, because a lot of times when you all think about natural causes, when I say you all, I'm saying people who have no medical experience. When you think of natural causes, you're thinking about older people and people who just went because they were old. But what it means when you die of natural causes, it means there was no outside sources pertaining to your death. It doesn't mean that, for example, if you die of diabetes, if you had a heart attack, if you had something, a chronic disease, that all falls up under natural causes. Okay. Anything outside the body, like, for example, if you had a car accident, if somebody because of the YouTube box and the censorship, I have to say popped instead of the actual term. So if somebody popped you with a firearm, things like that are considered outside sources. If somebody gives you, one thing that I read up about Asia was she was given pills, y'all. She was giving pills. Okay, and this is allegedly, but she was given pills. So one thing that you need to understand when it comes to pills, when somebody is given pills, okay, I don't know if they had went out to eat that night or not, but if Asia's, like, did they check? Did they tell you all about what was in her stomach when they did the autopsy? Was anybody?
They didn't tell us anything. They didn't give us no information on it. But when her death certificate came back, it came back that she had fentanyl and ethanol in her system. And that's what she died from.
And this is somebody, again, audience, this is somebody who never abused drugs. Okay. And the man that she was with, it is being rumored, is alleged that he had a hand in 7 other people overdosing. Okay. So also, and then when you take pills, when you're taking anything orally, depending on the contents of your stomach, it takes those pills 1 to 6 hours to take hold, okay, to get in your bloodstream or whatever. So they know what she was taking. So the only thing that I feel like they really need to do is investigate this Isaiah Crown. And I'm wondering why they won't do it and what kind of ties, because you're from Kansas City, Missouri, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I would get and again, I'm going to keep saying it throughout this live. Tierra has given me a GoFundMe. I need you all to please, find it in your hearts to give something. Okay, please. Because I think you need to get a private investigator and look into his background and see who he's related to. You know what I mean? Not only that, because as I was reading this case, and again, Tierra, sometimes on this channel, I can get very spiritual, but I kept getting like a gut instinct that he might have some ties in his family to somebody in a higher place, and they're covering for him, because ain't no way in hell you're getting away with this would be 8 people's deaths that he had a hand
Mm-hmm.
in, that he contributed to. You see what I'm saying? So it's
Exactly.
not just Asia, y'all, but Asia's family, unlike the others, was smart enough to reach out and speak out about it. Okay. So have you guys been able to get a hold of her medical records? Because I know you guys are saying like she was completely healthy adult.
We haven't got a chance to do that, but we can actually still do it.
I
We
would
can
I
still
would
do
get
it.
I would find out how to get a hold of her medical records if I were you all, because one thing that I found, and I'm not trying to offend you or anything, but one thing that I found in my 16 years of working in the medical field is oftentimes people will come in, and for example, if it's a wife and husband type deal, they'll tell us things, and by law, because of HIPAA, we can't relay it to the wife. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I
Mm-hmm.
would get a hold of her medical records, not to prove that she had anything wrong with her, but to disprove it, to say, hey, again,
Right.
my sister was completely healthy. Why is there drugs in her system? You
Right.
know, because
Mm-hmm.
not only will it make the detectives look bad, but it's gonna make the coroner look bad. Like, what's your hand in this, and why didn't you? You know what I mean?
Right.
Especially if
Exactly.
she don't have any friends or anybody who was around her who was into the drug life. I'm asking a question.
What you asked me, I couldn't hear you.
She wasn't associated with anybody who was a part of doing drugs. Like, she didn't have any friends who did drugs or any hard drugs or anything like that. Okay, so they can't say, and this is to base, because they're going to try to say everything. They're going to try to say, okay, if her friends was doing this, she was possibly doing this too. And Asia has 4 children. I can't hear you, honey. Hold on. Let me try to get a hold of her again. Tierra, hold on. Let me put a message in the private chat. I don't think she knows we can't hear her. Okay. I got to turn to my notes, y'all, because I wrote down so many notes concerning this case. I think she's going to come down and come back up, but I wrote down so many notes covering this case. And I really could not find a lot about Isaiah Crown, and I thought that was highly suspicious, being that you have people, and I don't know how his friends are coming out. I don't know if they're coming out anonymously, or I don't know if they're coming out just outright, and talking to people who knew Asia and things like that. But if this guy had such a popular social life, I should be able to find him. I should be able to locate things about him, or find even his different social media platforms. It is not a lot out there about Isaiah Crown. Asia, I'm sorry, Tierra.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, sorry. The last thing you said, we didn't hear it.
Okay, no, I'm saying that she really didn't have friends, we
Mhm.
come from a family of 13, so we was all, we all close
Yep.
in age.
Yep. Look,
So
I
we
got
stuck
happy because I
together.
come from a big family too. Y'all all had each other. Come on.
Yep. Yep. So we it ain't no, oh, we got friends. No, we was each other friends. So
Come on.
yep.
I know how that is.
So
Yep.
I
That's how
knew
me and my sisters are.
Yep. So I knew what she did. She came over my house
Mhm.
every other day. So we
And then
ate
I could
crab legs and
already
all
kind
that.
of
So
gauge, I could already gauge that you guys were close, because Asia allegedly, she went on this date on February, was it February 17th or 18th?
18th.
So she went on a date, like I think Friday, February 18th. The next day, Tierra and her family was looking for their sister. Okay. That's signs of somebody who's very close knit to their loved one. Usually, when like a couple days or even weeks pass, then you have to question, okay, how close was the relationship between this person and their family
Hmm.
members? The fact that she went looking and they attempted, I don't know, like what you attempted to put in a police report on the 19th, right?
Mm-hmm. It
They
was
told y'all to wait 72 hours.
no, it wasn't the 19th. I put it in on the 20th. She was already deceased. I put it
Okay.
in on the 20th. Yep.
And then I'm also wondering because usually, like, they will say 24 to 48 hours for adults because adults can leave and come back and stuff. But when you said 72 hours, I'm like, hold up, baby, I need to start researching what the missing persons, like what it is in Missouri, because I've never heard 72 hours. I've never heard
Mm-hmm.
that. I'm always covering missing cases on this channel. Never heard that,
Yep.
you know? So that I found that odd. I found that odd, you know. But so it's being said that his friends, again, his friends have come out and said that he, like, is he a pill pusher? Is he a drug dealer? Like, what's his occupation?
I don't know. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know nothing about this man. Nothing.
Mm,
I don't know nothing about him. I just know that people have came out and told me different things about this man.
mm,
Um, I know that one of his cousins reached out to me and was like, "Well, this is what he's telling me. He's saying that Asia brought her own drugs and the police knew about it, and the police told the family." I said, "That's not true," because I asked the
right.
police, "Was it
And it doesn't sound
drugs?"
true because why were they covering up so much if that's
Right.
the truth? You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
usually, if I know something is true about myself, like for example, if I'm in a situation like this and I have nothing to hide and I know something is true, I'm not going to run from you. I'm not going to hide. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to try to cover things up, and I'm not going to
Right.
procrastinate with you. And it seems like the police is really giving Asia's family the runaround. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so what else did I want to ask? Because I had a bunch of stuff written down. Okay, I already went over rigor mortis, and that's important too. You really want to ask about that because that can like really detect up to the hour when she took her last breath.
Right.
Because his story and what he said, I would have see this is why some of these cases I get so angry because I would have chewed his ass out. Where did you find her? It would, I would have chewed him out. I would have asked him question over question. Where was she at when you found her? Because usually like bodies, they when they start to go into that first stage into rigor mortis, you can feel the temperature change. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Even if you're lying next to somebody, you can feel the temperature change. Now they can stay warm up to about 12 to 18 hours depending on the climate, but you can
Right.
definitely feel the temperature change. If she overdosed, did she spit up on the floor? Did she throw up? What happened? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? You
But
guys
like,
need to know that.
yeah, but like when I was asking him some of those questions, some of the questions he could not answer due to the fact that, the case is still open. So he is some of the questions, like I asked him most of those questions, he couldn't answer it because he was like, well, he couldn't answer those questions because
And to give you a little bit of like I wouldn't I see I don't want to say too much on this live, but this is where you have to kind of get creative. You kind of
mm-hmm,
because you can't go in because he knows you, he knows you're his sister. But I would this is kind of where you gotta be like Maury Povich and send in a decoy.
mm-hmm,
I mean, and have them ask the questions or like get a private investigator. Private investigators will go undercover for you. They will go undercover and act like they're a friend or act like, somebody random in a bar and they will do that stuff for you. You know what I
mm-hmm.
mean? Because it sounds like he definitely is. Where is he at today? Do you know?
I don't know. Like I said, I know he's still out here. He's not in jail or nothing.
Like I'm wondering if he's still in Kansas City.
That's a good question.
hmm Like that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if he's still in Kansas City. I'm wondering who his family is and what his background is. Um, and they're saying he has a child himself. Cause yeah, it's a lot of questions about this guy that I have, and I just like I literally looked him up. I googled him. I looked on different social media platforms, and it is not a lot out here about him. and for him to have all of these friends and such a social life, I'm like, damn, I can't really find anything on this guy.
Right.
Or like, is he just somebody that like takes pills, or does he sell them as well?
Uh, I think he just sells them. I don't even think he takes them.
And do you know, like, the day of her date, did she tell you where they going, like, out to a specific place, restaurant or club, or?
She didn't tell me a specific place. She just said he was supposed to be taking her out. So
Mhm.
I don't know if they went to a bar. I don't know if they went out to eat. I'm not for sure.
And then I had came across when I read up on this case, because it seemed like they botched once they picked up Asia's body, it seems like from then on that they just botched everything else. Like they just, because I like it was a lot of like kind of like what you were saying earlier, like you guys didn't really get to identify her. Can you tell me more about that process and what it was like going through all of that? Then not only that, but like what actually happened from the time that they picked up her body. What was her body at his house?
They said her body was at his house,
Mm-hmm.
and they picked the body up from there and took her to the corners, and then they had already did an autopsy on her body when we got her already.
And
Mhm.
so when did you guys get a hold of her remains?
It was Tuesday.
That next week?
She died what, Friday? She passed away Saturday. We got
Mm,
her Tuesday. Yeah.
that's quick for an autopsy.
That's what I said.
That is quick. And
And
like, mm-hmm.
when I had already called up there, I believe this was Sunday. They was already done with her autopsy when we called. We called Sunday. They was already done with it, the autopsy.
See, yeah, that just don't. Yeah, because some what I've learned about some labs or some of these places who do autopsies. Can you hear me, Asia?
Tierra, yes. Hello.
I mean, Tierra, I'm sorry.
Yes, I can hear you. Hello.
I think okay. Hello, can y'all hear me? So I lost I don't know what was going on with my computer, but my live dropped and I had to come back up, and hopefully a Tierra comes back up as well. But basically, what I was saying was, when it comes down to autopsies, y'all, it is very odd for the autopsy to be done in less than a week. Hold on, Tierra's coming back up too. I'm going to add her to the stream. Tierra.
Yes.
Okay, but yeah, that's what I was saying. Like that is I've never known anybody, especially over the weekend, to do an autopsy that quick.
Yeah, that was real quick.
Yeah, and where do you know where her body was taken to? Like where did they perform the autopsy?
I don't know. Nope, I don't know about that.
So let me write that down because they need to tell you all that as well, where her body was taken, where the autopsy was performed, because you don't want to leave no stone unturned with this type of deal. Have you all spoken with a lawyer?
Yes, I got a lawyer in place. We just have to pay him. So
Okay. And again, for everybody who is just now entering the live, Tierra did give me a link for a GoFundMe. I'm on my phone right now, y'all, but I'm gonna try to get back on my computer and go live so I can put that link in the not only the description box and the comment section, but I'm gonna put it in the chat as well. Okay. Um, because the quicker we can help them to help donate and help out with the funds, the quicker they can get answers and they can get closure. And then not only that, but y'all please remember, this guy didn't just, do this allegedly to Asia, but he's had his hand in 7 other people overdosing. He had something to do with those as well. And I keep mentioning that because you know, no disrespect to Tierra or my chat, but we might have a serial killer on our hands. Okay. We might have a serious predator on our hands. And the fact that he keeps getting, I even read somewhere where it said that he gets some type of excitement from doing this sick stuff. You know? So that's also why we need to donate, not just, because we want one case solved, but we want to be able to put this guy away before he does it to somebody else. This man, and they not asking him any questions. I've never heard to where anybody can get away with anything and they're not being questioned about it. Right. And hold on, everybody. I'm gonna get back on my my laptop. Okay, just hold on. I'm gonna get back on my laptop. But it's so you said you do have a lawyer. You just have to pay him. Okay. Hold on, guys. It was a storm here. I'm thinking a storm knocked out or made my computer freeze up. I'm not sure. And let me see, because my co-host Sent was supposed to come up as well, but I'm thinking she got busy. But they are comparing this case to Lawrence Smith Fields. Have you heard that as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm gonna
reopen her case. They have reopened her case.
That's me, y'all. That's me. I'm getting. Tierra?
Yes.
Okay, what'd you say?
I said I had heard that they had reopened her case.
Who what Lawrence Smith Fields?
I seen online. I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, I haven't really been investigating her story like that because I was covering another young woman with the same, just like Asia Maynard, your sister, and just like Lawrence Smith Fields. Her name was Treasure Hendricks, and Treasure Hendricks, she was dating a white man as well, which no problem with that. I don't have any problems with who anybody dates. And I'm going to specify it right now because a lot of the victims and a lot of the cases that I covered, the majority of the men that are taking these women's lives in our community is Black men. Okay, so I don't want anybody coming over here because that's why I had to put that disclaimer at the top of this video, Tierra, because sometimes people will be disrespectful and they'll say, "Oh, well, she shouldn't have been dating a white man," and those comments like that burn me up, and they burn me up because the majority of Black women who are passing away are dying by the hands of Black men. They're mostly dying by gunshots, okay? They're using firearms. I researched this stuff, y'all, so please don't come over here and say no stuff like that because I'll immediately block you. I don't give second and third chances on this channel for stuff like that. But anywho, Treasure Hendricks, she went on a date as well with a Chicago police officer. Okay.
Wow.
Yes, girl. It was with a cop. And they went back to, he had RV on his property. So he had a house and he had an RV outside the property. And they were in the RV, and her corpse was found in that RV on his property. And not
Wow.
only that, but a few weeks after they discovered her remains in that RV, he quit the force. Okay, nothing was
Wow.
being done about it. Nothing was being done about it. And I seen the story, and I was up like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I seen the story, and you can hear the first video. The first video that I covered on Treasure Hendricks, I was like, you can hear it in my voice, the sleep. I was still half sleep when I covered that first video. But something hit, and I said, no, I said, I can't ignore this. I have to get up. I have to cover this. I have to at least push it, get it out
Mhm.
there. And so I covered it, and really nobody was covering that case until I picked it up. Okay. And I'm a small channel, I'm very small, but some of the
Mhm.
cases that I pick up, other people don't even know about them. And Treasure Hendricks, what broke my heart about her case, like Asia's, like Lauren Smith Fields, is the families are crying out for help. Okay, it always breaks my heart, y'all, with these cases when the families cry out for help and nobody is listening to them. Nobody
Mhm.
is caring. Everybody is sweeping it up under the rug until
Yep.
it's them.
Mhm.
Okay, that's what really pisses me off about this case. And then not only that, but Treasure, her mother, she was getting on Facebook in all caps, writing in all caps, about her daughter. And then not only did I see that, because I feel like people are not as educated. The main public is not as educated as they like to think, because I'm sitting up here and I'm looking at the mother of Treasure Hendricks post these messages about, somebody please help me, something happened to my daughter, they won't do anything. And then she would switch off and she would write another post about, like, oh, I miss my daughter so much. And this mother was literally grieving online. And I'm like, nobody is seeing this but me. Nobody is seeing this but me. This woman is grieving online, and everybody is just, what really upset me was everybody was like, oh, well, we'll pray or we'll send our condolences. And nobody was doing anything.
Wow.
Okay. And then I always tell people, like, because I am Christian, if you're going to pray for somebody, it says faith without good works is dead, y'all. We can't just be
Mhm.
praying. We got to do something about this stuff.
Yep.
Okay. Now, this family is without their sister because somebody who they could have prevented a long time ago, when he had his hand in the first murder of somebody ODing, they could have stopped
Mhm.
his ass a long time ago. Now, 8 people later, he's still out there running wild and nothing is being done about it. And the family is being pushed to their case is being pushed under the rug, and they're being pushed to the side. You
Mhm.
know, this shit crazy to me. Excuse me, Tiara. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cuss, but
It is crazy.
I get mad reading on these stories. So is there anything else that the family has going on? Do they have any kind of like rally, any kind of awareness movements?
Yeah, we're supposed to be doing a rally here soon within the next week or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I can let you know about that. But yeah, we're doing a rally. We're doing all that. We're trying to really push um for something to get done here,
Mm-hmm.
because the police they're like whatever. So I mean,
Has anybody reached out to the national news media?
we reached out to all of them. I did a couple interviews with Fox 4 and
Mm-hmm.
uh, uh, uh I think it was KMBC. I did one with them, but nothing yet. Like I
And
did an
then, like, I would even say, like, um, reach out to um not only the national media, but like other black media, like Roland Martin. Roland Martin is starting to get into covering these cases, especially missing persons cases. He's really starting to get into cover. Q Money Jones in the chat, he said reach out to Al Sharpton. There's a what's that lawyer's name? Crump. His last name is Crump. Are
yeah,
you familiar with
we
him?
reached out to I reached out to him, and he was saying that he would, like, send his condolences, but he wouldn't be able to cover the case. So
I wonder why not.
mm
Yeah, because this has a lot of suspicion around it, and I definitely believe it was some foul play involved in this case.
I
Not
bet
only on the suspect's hands, but on the
police.
hands of the police department, yep, the
Mm-hmm.
coroner. And y'all, I'm telling y'all from what I know from experiences, autopsies are not performed that fast, y'all. And sometimes in some of these, like I don't know how big Kansas City is, but depending on the city and town you're in, like the city I'm from, the hospital I was hired in at like years ago, they were doing autopsies, but then they stopped. Okay, they stopped and they started to ship the bodies or send the bodies to other cities and towns to get the autopsies performed. And then in some of these labs or wherever that they're taking these corpses to do these autopsies, they don't have everything. Like, for example, say when they're performing the autopsy, they're like, oh, okay, we need a toxicology report
Mm-hmm.
as well. All the time they don't have the right equipment to do the toxicology report. So what they'll do is they'll take a tissue sample or a blood sample or something and they'll send it off somewhere else. So I'm trying to stress to y'all how crazy it is that I have Tierra here, Asia's sister, and she's saying, hey, Candace, by the next week, they said the autopsy was complete. Then not only that, but we couldn't even go in to identify her body to make sure this was her. You know what I mean? And this is a
Mm-hmm.
missing person, y'all. She was a
Yeah.
missing person at first. You know, with these kind of cases, and the reason why I'm stressing that she's a missing person because I understand the general public does not get it. Tierra can get on here and say, for example, they had not found Asia. Tierra can get on here right now and tell me out her own mouth, yeah, Candace, my sister Asia was found. She was okay. Don't y'all know I could not accept her word? It would have to come from an official person. It would have to come from a trusted source. It could not come from Tierra. It would have to come from a trusted source. And the reason why I'm stressing that is because the fact that they couldn't go in and identify her, because ain't nobody gonna know you like your family members, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I know, for example, I have a sister who has a distinct scar on her hand. So God forbid, if I ever was in this situation, I had to go in and ID my sister. I would know one how my sister looked, but if she died in a crazy or traumatic way to where she wasn't identifiable, I know basically she has this scar on her hand or how their teeth are set up. I have a sister who has she's kind of old school. She has a gold tooth in her mouth. So I noticed about this sister, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that she
Mm-hmm.
could not go in there and identify her sister, if that don't speak suspicion, I don't know what the hell do.
Right.
Okay? I don't know what do. So Tierra, at this time, I'm gonna open the floor back up to you. And if there's anything else you want to inform us of, please let us know. Again, everybody, I'm gonna link that GoFundMe to the comment section and to the description box. If it's anything else that we should know, if it's any pages we should follow or anything like that, here's your time to let us know.
Yeah, I don't really have a big platform or nothing, but I'm on Facebook under Tierra Maynard if you want to follow. I have a GoFundMe also. That'll be on my Facebook as well. But other than that, if you got any questions, let me know. Other than that, we still pushing. We still trying to get answers. And yeah.
Yeah, and then not only that, I just had a thought. If y'all cannot donate, like find out another way that you can help this family if possible. Like if you have connections and you know somebody who's a private investigator or anything like that, and you want to share that information with Tierra, please share it with her. If you guys, like she says she's on Facebook, but if you even want to share the information with me and I can get it to her, my email is always in the description box of these videos. Okay. So if you can't help out financially, try to dig, you know what I'm hearing a lot of people are starting to do are starting to call these police departments and press them and ask
Mm-hmm.
questions. What police department is it, Tierra?
Kansas City Police Department.
And what's the guy's name? Detective Riley?
Mm-hmm.
What's his first name?
I don't know his first name. They didn't give me
Yeah.
the first. Give me
So
last name.
So y'all, Kansas City Police Department, Detective Riley. Start calling him, start blowing up the phone lines and figuring out why they're not moving their feet. Hold their feet to the fire and figure out why they're not getting the ball rolling on what happened to Asia. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's very important, y'all. And I thank everybody for watching. Please remember, when you come over here to Black Women Aware, you must be respectful of victims and guests I have on this channel. I want to take this time right now to thank Tierra for her time and coming over here to speak with us. Tierra, if you need anything or if you ever want to reach out again, you have my information. You could definitely do that. And I'll definitely open the platform back up so you can share with us whatever new events you have coming up. If it's a rally or if it's anything in Asia's honor, please let us know. Okay.
I definitely
This
will.
is okay. Thank you, honey. And yeah, the door is always open to you. Okay. Door is
Okay.
always open to you. And my thoughts and my prayers and my condolences go out to your family. I'm definitely going to be following this case from here on out, because honestly, when I first heard about Asia, and I think I had her mixed up with another young lady because I cover so many of these cases, I thought this happened a year ago. And I thought, okay, well, it's almost like a cold case. Y'all, this happened literally a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we can't let this case just go up under the rug. We cannot. And just think of it like this: it can be your family member tomorrow. Okay, what would
Mm-hmm.
you do if it was yours? Okay, and I already know, like, everything that I've asked here, I would be asking those detectives. I would be holding their asses accountable, and they will get tired of seeing me. And that's the same thing we have to do for this family. Please keep in mind that some of these families are still grieving, they're still adjusting. So where they can't speak up for themselves, we need to speak up for them. Okay. But again, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Tierra, for coming on my platform and sharing Asia's story and your story as well. We hope to have you back on. At this time, guys, I'm going to get off of here. You all, please remember to be safe, be alert, be aware. This is Candace Yvette and Tierra, and we are signing off.
Thank you. Bye bye.